Test. Oh, good afternoon, everybody.
Your mic is not on. Your mic.
Hello. Hello. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcoming you to the first conference to ECOWAS Parliament 35th anniversary.
We are sorry for keeping you waiting. We are starting now, so I'm calling on Emmanuel to come and direct the program.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We arise to observe a minute of silence, this prayer. Thank you very much. Please be seated. My apologies, I will have to ask you to stand again just for the anthem, so we can have the ECOWAS anthem and the Nigerian anthem. So we'll have the Nigerian anthem right now. Thank you very much. We may be seated, please. May I have your seat, please? The ECOWAS anthem is at the end. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I'd like to welcome you to this press conference. I'll start by recognizing our able dignitaries. Dr. Olori Boye Ajayi, the Managing Partner, Borderless Trade and Investment. We have Dr. Victoria Akai, the CEO of Doshes Limited. We have the Chief Communications Officer for the ECOWAS Parliament, Mrs. Ushe Duru. Last but not least, we have the representative of the Speaker of ECOWAS Parliament, Dr. Kabir Gaba. I'd also like to recognize the other institutions that are here, well present. We have NASENI, we have PAUSMI. PAUSMI is the Pan-African Alliance of Small, Medium and Medium Industries. We have SMIDAN, Small and Medium Enterprise Development Agency of Nigeria. NASENI again, National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure. We have, amongst others, we have other representatives that will be mentioned in due time as they arrive. We also have Zenith Bank and other financial institutions well present. Forgive me if I'm not mentioning the whole list of banks, as there are quite a lot. I would really want us to get into the program because we've taken enough of the time. So we have a welcome address that's going to be presented by Dr. Victoria Akai, the CEO of Doshes Limited. So I'll hand over the microphone now.
Nasingwe Eya Dema of Togo. ECOWAS has grown into one of Africa's most important platforms for regional collaboration, economic development, and shared prosperity. Today, as the private sector continues to expand its role across trade, innovation, and investment, ECOWAS institutions remain critical partners in shaping a more integrated and prosperous regional economy. At the end of this effort is the ECOWAS, at the center of this effort is the ECOWAS Parliament, which for the past 25 years has worked to strengthen democratic governance, promote regional cooperation, and involve the people of West Africa in the integration process. As private sector partners committed to regional economic development, we are proud to support the Parliament in delivering a year-long program of activities across several member states focused on key priorities including regional trade and SME development, women's economic empowerment, youth innovation, civic engagement, and cultural heritage. The program will bring together policymakers, entrepreneurs, innovators, youth and civil society through initiatives like the ECOWAS Smart Challenge, a simulated ECOWAS Parliament for young people, regional trade forums, and community outreach through the ECOWAS Caravan. For us in the private sector, ECOWAS at 25 represents more than a celebration. It is an opportunity to strengthen partnerships that translate regional policy into real economic opportunity for citizens and businesses across West Africa. We look forward to working alongside the ECOWAS Parliament and regional partners to make this anniversary a meaningful platform for deeper regional integration and shared prosperity. Thank you, and once again, you are most welcome.
Thank you. I also like to follow up on recognition. Alhaji Suleiman Audu, Nasima AFC FTA Trade Group, RTD Director OD Trade Federal Ministry of, RTD Director OD Trade, Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. I also like to, retired, sorry. I also like to welcome Dr. Henry Umejo, DG Pan-African Organizations of Medium-Sized Industries. A round of applause for him, please. Moving on, I would like us to basically take in more of why we are here. So when I say please give us a round of applause, you know that we're marking an event, significant milestone. This is private sector-led commemoration of the 25th anniversary of the ECOWAS Parliament, implementing the 2050 vision of ECOWAS, which is from the ECOWAS of states to the ECOWAS of people. So please, a round of applause one more time. Moving on, be inviting the speaker, the representative of the Speaker of ECOWAS Parliament, Dr. Kabir Gaba, to give his remarks on behalf of the Speaker. Thank you.
A round of applause, please. Now let me begin on a lighter mood. When they sang the national anthem of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I decided to sing it loud, even though I have a bad voice. The reason being that I wanted to intimidate and tout the younger ones amongst us. No, we succeeded in intimidating some of you, but I must say that a lot of you have decided to recover. And my brightest moment was when we continued with the second stanza. Because a lot of you just learned the first stanza and stopped. Nigeria, we hail thee. For me, the decision to bring it back was the best decision ever. The idea is that although people will criticize it as being formulated by non-Nigerians, but to me it made every sense. Now, on behalf of the Honorable Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament, Her Excellency Hajiya, who is unavoidably absent, because she's not based in Abuja, she's based in Benin. Secondly, she's also the Deputy Speaker of the Togolese Parliament. And she just left Abuja on Sunday specifically. So she's unable to return to Abuja to attend this very important event. I must begin by commending our technical partners. Incidentally, the two beautiful ladies have decided to sandwich me. And they said it is their right to do that today. Duchess and Borderless. Because they have done their uttermost best. I whispered into Dr. Victoria's ears when we assembled here that this event is a big one. She said, with a small audience. I said, yes, but the cameras alone have made the event extremely, extremely big. So I must commend you for your commitment, for your resilience, and for your dedication towards this project. I know we started these talks in December, and at some point, at our level, at the ECOWAS Parliament, we were almost discouraged. And at some point, I wasn't even speaking to them because I felt it's just an activity that may not even need any important dividend. But today, they have proved me wrong. All they needed was the speaker's signature, which they got, I think, the last 48 hours, and they are able to organize an event of this magnitude. So I must congratulate you for your commitment. Now, let me begin by saying that the ECOWAS Parliament was established specifically on the 16th of November 2000 in Bamako, Mali, meaning that on the 16th of November 2025, we marked our 25th anniversary. members of the parliament at that time who answered their names in Bamako are no longer with us. Some may be late, some have retired from parliament, some have even retired from politics. Some are ex-presidents of member states. But the most important thing is they made history by being the first set of parliamentarians to answer their names on that fateful day. Consequently, the Honorable Speaker in her wisdom decided that on the 16th of November 2025, we should mark the 25th anniversary of the ECOWAS Parliament, and we did. But because members of Parliament are now resident in Abuja, we shifted the event to December when we had the second ordinary session. And we had three fundamental activities at that time. We had the ECOFEPA event. ECOFEPA, I'm sure for those who cover the Parliament know what it means. For those who don't understand or do not know the Parliament, ECOFEPA is the ECOWAS Female Parliamentarians Association that has brought together all female members of Parliament, past and present. In fact, they even have an alliance with an association that brings together female members of Parliament in Nigeria, the one they call CONFEPA. There is an alliance existing. So we had a grand event that was graced by Her Excellency, the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Remi Tinubu, although she was ably represented at that event. But to show you the importance of the event, she accepted to attend and she graced the occasion. Then that was followed by what we call a day of reflection, where we brought in especially former Secretaries General of the Parliament to give us their own perspective on the 25-year journey. And that event was highly successful because they were able to give us their insight into what they feel or how they feel we should progress as a parliament after the first 25 years. Then we had the Silver Jubilee event at the International Conference Center that was graced by about 7 national parliaments. They were represented within the sub-region. And we were also expecting the chairman of authority, that's the president of the Republic of Sierra Leone, but he was represented at that event, probably because it was December and there were too many events that happened at that time. Now the significance of moving on after our event in December is that here we have competent technical partners who felt that they could get donors to support us to continue with the commemoration until the 16th of November 2026. And that is what we intend to do. Why are we celebrating the ECOWAS Parliament for another 1 year? We are doing so because the Parliament is supposed to represent the people of the West African region. Our greatest strength as an ECOWAS institution is the fact that we are representing the people. We are providing a voice for the people. We are providing conscience for the people. We are supposed to speak on their behalf and to defend the interest of the people. And we cannot do that if we do not have the people behind us. And we can only have the people behind us if we are able to continuously conscientize them on our existence first. Because a lot of people even here within Nigeria do not even know that the parliament exists. Not to talk of some traders in some village, you know, in Kaolack in the Republic of Senegal, or a market woman in a weekly market somewhere in Boaké in the Republic of Cote d'Ivoire, or better still someone in Winneba in the Republic of Ghana. So we need an activity like this that will continue for some time so that we are able to continuously remind the people that we exist and we are there for them. Why was the ECOWAS Parliament created? The ECOWAS Parliament was created as a response to the urge for democratization that happened in the early 90s, late 80s and early 90s. I'm sure the younger ones here amongst us who cannot sing the national anthem were not born at that time. So they may not know what we are talking about. What we are talking about is that prior to the democracy you see in West Africa, there was a time, or once upon a time, West Africa was dominated by military regimes and dictatorial one-party states across West Africa. But with the emergence or with the collapse of communism in the defunct USSR and the collapse of apartheid in South Africa, a need to change the system of governance became imminent. And so in West Africa, what we had were sovereign national conferences in several member states where negotiations were made to establish democracy. And so at the regional level, there were efforts to ensure that we democratize the integration and cooperation process in West Africa. And that was why the heads of states, in their wisdom, in revising the treaty, decided to create the ECOWAS Parliament and the ECOWAS Court of Justice. The idea is that we should have a parliament that should represent the people at the level of the region, so that whatever laudable programs we are proposing at the level of the region, we should ensure that the people benefit from those programs. When we talk about the ECOWAS free movement of persons, which is the flagship program, a lot of the ordinary people do not know that it exists. So people will be asking you, I'm going to Senegal, where do I get a visa to go to Senegal? I'm going to Ghana, I need to apply for a visa. So the parliament is there to ensure that we mobilize the people to take advantage of such programs. We also have the ECOWAS trade liberalization scheme, which permits traders to move across. They even have a right of establishment in third countries. The idea is that the parliament should be able to conscientize the people and carry them along so that they take maximum advantage of these programs that exist within ECOWAS. And on the other hand, the parliament is also expected to bring back feedback from the people who are the beneficiaries of these programs at the regional level. And so, we congratulate you for these allowed to put food on their table. And so trade issues, innovation issues are very key. Also, very important is the issue of the youth. We need to be able to mobilize the youth. They are the future of the world. They are the future of any society. Even in your house, it is your children that are your future. They will carry the flag when you are gone. And so we need to be able to also mobilize the youth. We need to also have buy-in from the youth so that these integration process will move forward. And it is very key for us to also address youth issues. If we are able to address youth issues, we are going to have peace in our societies and in the region as a whole. So by and large, so that I don't deliver a lecture, I want, on behalf of the Honorable Speaker, thank you for this activity and to assure you that this activity is very key to Madam Speaker's heart. She specifically directed me yesterday to be here. I didn't want to come, and they know I didn't want to come. But when the Speaker directed me to come and to give a boost in the tempest as we move on with this activity. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Once again, a round of applause for Dr. Kabir Kabar, the official representative of the Speaker of ECOWAS Parliament. I'd also like to recognize, forgive me, Olori Boye Ajayi, the managing partner of Borderless Trade and Investment, for the presentation of the year-long commemorative program of this event. Thank you. A round of applause for Dr. Olori.
It is a year-long program. It is also a multi-country program. So I'm going to just run through private sector partners committed to regional integration and economic development, we recognize the importance of supporting this milestone of ECOWAS Parliament Act 25 and contributing initiatives that translate policy into real economic opportunity for citizens and businesses across the country. The year-long program reflects the shared priorities of both the Parliament and regional economic actors, particularly in advancing regional trade and SME development,
women's economic empowerment, and cross-border entrepreneurship. We're also going to be looking at youth innovation and leadership, civic awareness, and citizen engagement, and lastly, cultural exchange and regional identity. Activities will take place in the following countries: Nigeria, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Senegal, Cape Verde, Togo, and Sierra Leone. And of course, we will extend all the impact of our activities to the member states within ECOWAS. What we intend to do is to bring together policymakers, entrepreneurs, innovators, youth, and civil society to deepen regional collaboration. To support the implementation of these activities, the Right Honourable Speaker of the Parliament, through the Secretary General of the ECOWAS Parliament, is coordinating the program with us as private sector partners, that is Duchess Naturals Limited, CMD Tourism and Trade Enterprise, and Borderless Trade and Investment. This partnership aims to collaborate with the wider private sector to bridge the gap, as I said earlier, and practice mobilizing public and private sector giants in finance, trade facilitation, SME growth, entrepreneurship development, youth innovation, which includes, of course, the banks and financial institutions. And we really want to thank you all for being here today at such short notice. As I mentioned, the anniversary program will unfold across multiple platforms and sectors. Particularly, young innovators will take center stage through the ECOWAS Smart Challenge, where national competitions will spark ideas and entrepreneurship, culminating in a grand regional finale in Accra. Journalists and media professionals will convene in Lome and Nigeria to help shape and amplify a shared regional narrative around integration, opportunity, and collective identity. In May, we'll have youth engagement that will reach the parliamentary chamber itself through a simulated ECOWAS Parliament, giving young people the opportunity to debate regional issues and participate in shaping the future vision of an ECOWAS Youth Parliament. Beyond the institution and the collaborations with them, the program will also extend directly to communities through the ECOWAS Caravan, bringing awareness and civic education, schools, transport hubs, markets, and digital platforms across the region. The trade and commerce pillar will form a center where we begin to really look at how, like what Dr. Kabir said, entrepreneurs and business leaders will gather them in Abidjan, Yamoussoukro, Accra, Lome, Freetown, Abuja, and Lagos for business-to-business forums, pilot trade corridor initiatives, and policy dialogues designed to make regional trade more practical, inclusive, and investment ready. Culture will also play a vital role in the commemoration. Creative festivals celebrating fashion, film, food, literature, and music will highlight the diversity that binds West Africa together. Through arts, sport, and storytelling, the program will reinforce the shared cultural identity of the region. As the year progresses, civic education will reach wider audiences through the ECOWAS TV game show that is in the works, combining entertainment with awareness of regional institutions and integration. To top this all off, at the end of the celebration, we'll culminate all our activities in November of 2026 in Abuja, where leaders, partners, youth, entrepreneurs, and citizens will gather for the official closing ceremony, which you're all invited to. The event will feature a gala evening, documentary storytelling, and reflections on the achievements and future vision of ECOWAS and its parliament. For the private sector partners supporting this program, ECOWAS at 25 represents more than an anniversary. It is really an opportunity to reaffirm our commitment to regional cooperation, economic integration, and inclusive development. Together with the Right Honourable Speaker of ECOWAS Parliament and representatives of member states in the Parliament, we look forward to delivering a year-long celebration that connects institutions with citizens, markets with opportunity, and policy with tangible impact. This is the story of ECOWAS at 25, a movement across borders, generations, and sectors, celebrating the promise of a more connected, inclusive, and prosperous West Africa. Thank you very much.
Hello. So just before we have the media interaction session, I would like to also recognize Mrs. Ada Obaje, the Managing Director at Ada Connect Limited. A round of applause for her. I also like to recognize the Association of West African Legislative Correspondents, the Office of the Press Corps covering the ECOWAS Parliament, Mr. Innocent Odo. So moving on to why we are here. We will now begin with the media interactive session. I also want to recognize our guests who are actually watching us live. We're actually streaming, and basically it's global. I'm sure that our able speaker is also watching us live. So a round of applause for everyone who was able to make it and who was able to watch us online. So moving on to the interactive session. I'd like to start by asking anyone here in the audience, we should start with you, for the Media Parley. Do you have any questions for our
you are going to have, let it be called the celebration of ECOWAS Parliament. They don't want to go outside. So now, anybody that is ready now, the floor is open for questions. Your name and your medium.
My name is Sandra Chukwugepu of Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria. My question is, As the ECOWAS Parliament marks its 25th anniversary, what is the major achievement the ECOWAS Parliament will say it has gotten in 25 years? And what is the major challenge you've had? Thank you.
So I would like to come in here.
Permit me to establish some house rules for this particular segment.
So once you take the floor, kindly let us know your name, your media you represent, and then ask your questions. Mind you, the questions would have to must center on the reasons why we're here, not on the general achievements of ECOWAS as a body or ECOWAS, any ECOWAS institution or the parliament for that matter. We're here for the private sector-led initiatives commemorating the parliament at 25. And so let's ask our questions along those lines and not on the achievements of ECOWAS. But just for the sake of this event, I would ask, with the kind permission of the speaker, if he wants to respond, just because we're here amongst the media people and they multiply messages for us. So he might just want to
say one or two things, but that's not why we're here for. Thank you.
Okay. Sandra, the ECOWAS Parliament
has achieved a lot within the last 25 years. It's difficult for me to be able to enumerate, but let me try to recall some of those achievements.
Essentially, in the early life of the Parliament, we were confronted with challenges, political challenges in the Mano River area, Mano River countries of Sierra Leone, Liberia, and Guinea. And it was the Parliament that worked tirelessly through the first Speaker of the Parliament, Professor Ali Jando, to establish peace in Liberia that led to elections, the elections that ushered in the government of President Charles Taylor. So that was one of the major achievements of the Parliament. Another achievement was the role we played during the Ivorian Civil War. You know, the mediation role during the Ivorian Civil War, as well as some crises that happened in Guinea-Bissau under the then President Kumbayala, and it was the Parliament that led parliamentary diplomacy to ensure that we were able to resolve some of these issues. Again, in Guinea, when we had the coup, that coup happened, I think, around the year 2009-2010, the Parliament played a significant role in ensuring that we brought the coup peace to book.
But the most important one that I always share with pride is the one that happened in Niger.
At that time, Senator Ike Madu, then Deputy Senate President and first Deputy Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament, he led an ad hoc committee, which I was fortunate to be the clerk of that ad hoc committee. And so the suspension that Niger suffered in the hands of the authority of heads of state and government were principally the work of the Parliament, principally the work of Senator Ike Madu. Because for the first time, the Parliament was invited to join the closed-door session of the authority of heads of state and government, and it was the resolution of the Parliament that the authority of heads of state and government adopted word to word that suspended Niger from the community. Several other achievements, but the key challenges we have, which I would like to share some with you, is that essentially because we have duality of members. Our members have duality because they are first and foremost members of the national assemblies of their respective countries before they come to the ECOWAS Parliament. And so the task appears to be daunting on them. It's quite heavy because they have a lot of challenges as to how to divide themselves between tasks at the national level and tasks at the regional level. Essentially, that is one of the major challenges of the ECOWAS Parliament, beyond the fact that we are yet to have powers to be making laws. The fact that we do not make laws, however, does not mean we are not a parliament, because a parliament does not necessarily have to make laws to be a parliament. The major function of the parliament is the representation, and that the ECOWAS Parliament has achieved from inception, we've always had the power of representation. Recently, in 2016, we now have the powers of oversight and the powers of citing the budget of the community and giving our opinion. Now, before I take my seat, let me also add that in trying to measure the performance of a parliament at the regional level, it is important for you to know that there is no way a regional parliament can perform like a national parliament. Even the European Parliament, which is the model that we adopt, does not perform as effectively and as efficiently as a national parliament. The key constraint being the issue of sovereignty. Thank you.
Hello?
Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Part of the activities mapping this occasion is women-focused trade and entrepreneurship program.
And I do remember that ECOWAS has been all the while trying to bring common currency, ECO, into fruition. What is the Parliament doing? What has it done to make sure this hurdle is crossed?
Thank you very much, Isa Abdul-Wahab, for that question. And it's a good one. It's a good one, I must say, because, like I said earlier, there is no integration if it does not cater for the welfare of the people. And one of the key drivers, of integration should be the common currency, which will take us to the next level of integration. And I must say that the difficulties associated with the establishment of the common currency has to do with what we call the inability of member states to attain what we call the convergence criteria, the primary and the secondary convergence criteria. But as you know, already member states that belong to the CFA zone already have a common currency. And then the authority, in its wisdom, decided to establish and attempt to establish a second monetary zone, which led to the establishment of WAMI in Accra. Now, our inability or the inability of member states to be able to achieve the convergence criteria has remained a hindrance to the establishment of a common currency. And you see, post-COVID, all over the world, countries are suffering from economic, because while some are out, some are in, some are on charter. But we woke up one day and all the aircrafts of Lufthansa had to return to base. So you can imagine the consequences to the global economy, which we are still suffering up until now. The economic downturn is not only affecting poorer countries in West Africa, but it is also affecting even the richer countries in Europe. So we are still on. The authority is determined to ensure that we achieve the common currency, because it is part of the fundamental ideals of economic integration. Anywhere Europe has a common currency, we will also get there. The ECOWAS Parliament cannot do much, because like I said, the inability to achieve the common currency is a function of the inability of member states to attain the convergence criteria. And you cannot have a common currency when your economies are facing different directions. So I think we are still on, and the ECOWAS Parliament will continue to support the authority of heads of state and government towards ensuring that we introduce the common currency.
Okay. Please, I'd like to remind everyone to please stay within the press conference so we don't take a lot of time. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rabi Utova, and I work for NTA. Mine is not a question, but a contribution. As we all know why we're here, I just want to say that Dr. Kabiru has made a one point that is so salient to me. And I would like to appreciate and commend the partners of ECOWAS Parliament for bringing this program. You see, last time we were in Kano, and we went around, with the first deputy speaker, trying to educate people about ECOWAS Parliament. People don't know about ECOWAS Parliament. And you said something here that I think these partners also, cue in. By having this kind of partnership with ECOWAS, I think it will go a long way, in making people to know that ECOWAS Parliament exists, and some of the activities, they go about. So it's a plus to you, and we hope to see this kind of people, partnering with ECOWAS to make people understand what ECOWAS Parliament is, and what they have been doing in the last 25 years. Thank you.
I most appreciate the efforts of Duchess and Borderless. Of course, also I commend the ECOWAS Parliament, especially the Speaker, now here represented by Dr. Abid Garba. And of course, our own very hardworking Madam Uche, she has actually been the very brain behind this movement. This movement, you are saying. So we're actually moving to the right direction with Duchess and Borderless. Of course, being driven by the ECOWAS Parliament. So the question, however, is, yes, this is private sector-led movement. And in the private sector, things work in a different way. Immediately different way. Private sector most times actually base their own issues on data. So my question is, the data that you have collected so far, have you been able to align it with what ECOWAS Parliament is doing in terms of reaching out to those less privileged communities in West Africa, especially bringing them to the realities of African continental free trade area, which was actually the main focus of discussion during the last session of ECOWAS Parliament. So what data do you have about the less privileged in West Africa, the women who have been deprived of access to funding by the women and youths, and of course in insecurity? What data do you have how insecurity has hindered businesses in those areas? And of course food security. You know that in West Africa the data is not very comfortable here, and in Nigeria specifically, about 35 million Nigerians are said to face real poverty in this year 2026. So you can see that there's a lot of work for you, but I know you are capable of doing that. So I want to see the kind of synergy you have in generating data that can help you drive the process of reaching out to people and say, in this sector, this is the challenge we have, and this is the solution that we're applying to this part of to this kind of challenge. Thank you.
Last question now.
Good afternoon, everyone. Sami Tunji from Punch newspaper. First, since the event is about private sector, what has been the level of partnership across private sector so far? Then we are talking about trade. Trade requires adequate financing. To what extent has the banking sector been supportive towards financing trade across Africa? Thank you very much.
All right, I think we should just take those two first. So I'll take the last one. I'll let my colleague take the one for Mr. Innocent. I didn't get your name. Sam.
Sami Tunji from Punch newspaper.
Thank you very much, Sam. Right now, I would say that we've received overwhelming interest from the private sector. Particularly, as you mentioned, the financial institutions, they have, it's a win-win when you look at it, because they also want to get into more markets to make themselves, if you like, not just penetration in terms of market penetration, but there's also the side of they want to push their own bank into these other markets. you're bringing some level of value to these communities, whether it's through the women empowerment initiatives or the youth innovation or the civic engagement of any kind. And so what we've seen the financial institutions really want to do
is they really want to partner with us to achieve what the Parliament wants to do you see? But as a, if you like, as a result, the ripple effect is that the people now know that there's a financial institution like, you know, whether it's, I don't want to mention any particular institution, but you see what I mean. It's very important that we see it as a win-win situation for both the financial institutions and for us. I do want to say something about private sector as well from the organized private sector angle. So what we are actually doing is providing market access on another level, which is beyond the typical trade fair, exhibition, but real market penetration where it comes to providing pathways to international markets and ensuring that these private sector companies, whether they are SMEs or, you know, medium-sized, whatever the case is, it's going to be tangible results. And I really invite everyone here in 6 months. We're going to be having a stakeholder forum where we begin to look at everything we have done, because we want to be accountable to the people. If this is really about the people, then I think we should have some forums where people can ask us, what have you done in 6 months, right? In West Africa, there are roughly about 400 million people. We can't reach everybody. That's not our goal. But the pillars that we've chosen, the private sector engagement has really shown us that those are the real core pillars in those communities, and they are willing to partner with us. Literally, we're overwhelmed with partnerships, honestly. Yeah, so it's been quite encouraging for us from that standpoint.
Talking about, your question was about data. If you're an African, you know that data is a major problem in this continent. However, for the purpose of this program, we're working with the association in Nigeria and in the region. So we have, for example, we have the ASME, All African Association of Small and Medium Enterprises. And then we're also working with the Pan-African Organization of Small and Medium Industries. They're represented here. But these are not the only two associations we're working with, just to make sure that at least to an extent we're able to cover the demographics that we are looking for. We're also working with the youth associations. So that's, we're not just going to the countries and implementing the project haphazardly. A lot of careful work has been done to make sure that it's delivered and the real value is brought to the people.
So permit me to chip in a little bit. I have a bit of a classic, pardon me, get cookie. Just to add to what Dr. Lewis said about it being a win-win
for all parties involved. For the private sector, a lot of them are established already. We all know their brand equity is quite high. ECOWAS as a brand also has a brand equity that is
big enough. In fact, that's what is pushing or driving the interest. Once you mention ECOWAS, everybody wants to be part of it. They want to know what they can do to be a part of that story.
And so for it being a win-win for everyone, for Parliament is in the sense that, you know, we want to leverage on
the
brand equity that most,
if you bring the critical mass of the
private sector operators or the giants in there, you want to, you know, bring all of them together. ECOWAS will ride on all of that across the sub-region. There's hardly anybody, permit me, I may have to mention a few names,
that would not know when you say Omo. Instead of saying detergent, I want to buy detergent, people would say Omo. I want to buy seasoning cube, people would say Maggi. You know, that would tell you how everybody knows about them. So for me, that I handle
public perception, image, and branding, and what have you for the Parliament, the question I get asked for the most part is, what do you people do there? And it's a bit disturbing. For 25 years, a lot of people still would ask you that. Even with the effort that we make all the time, the MPs trying to do sensitizations, the various member states and all that. But you would imagine that even Abuja, that hosts the three major arms, if you will, of ECOWAS, we still would have people ask us that. What do you people do? So essentially, we want the message to trickle down to all those people that call seasoning cube Maggi, and all those people that call detergent Omo. You know, the same way, you know, we would, you know, leverage on how well they know all those brands, and they'll begin to know ECOWAS the same way. Like my speaker said earlier, at the heart of the objectives of ECOWAS is the welfare of the people of the sub-region, and that's what ECOWAS actually represents. So pretty much all our programs center around that. So we wouldn't want to bore you. You are the press. You carry most of our messages, and you, of course, are here today to partner with us and take all these little, you know, gains, if you will, that ECOWAS has recorded over the past, for ECOWAS in general, 50 years, but for Parliament, 25 years. Take that message to the people of the sub-region. We don't want this to be elitist. We want it to get to the grassroots. Thank you very much.
Sorry, just to add to what she said, if you look around, you will see maybe banners of government institutions as well. So yes, we are partnering with the government institutions. We're not going to walk into any country without their permission. But most importantly, organizations like SMEDAN, NASENI, are institutions that already have a database of the kinds of demographics that we are working with. We're going to be working closely with them and their counterparts in the other countries.
Thank you very much. We've come to the end. Okay, I've just been instructed to allow more questions, so we can take 3 questions. Please, 3 questions. If you have any questions, please signify. We can also take questions from our private sectors as well. So, any question? All stakeholders, any question? No question. Okay. I think everyone got the memo. So, moving on. I've just been informed by the Chief Communications Officer for ECOWAS Parliament that there are some gifts for the early birds, people who came here on time. So the first 5, first 10? First 15 maybe. A round of applause for ECOWAS Parliament. So, while we are going to bring the list up front, list and the gifts, I'm going to invite our able Madam Chief Communications Officer, who's giving us this gift at the end of the day. Round of applause for her one more time. I'm going to invite her to take the vote of thanks.
As is the custom in the House, the ECOWAS Parliament has rather stand to deliver the votes of thanks on behalf of facilitators, our partners, and then particularly of the leadership and membership of the ECOWAS Parliament. My job here is very, very simple. So just give me your ears so that you can take a earful of thanks First ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the facilitators and partners of this all-important introductory press conference, I wish to express a sincere appreciation to you all for honoring our invitation and taking the time to be present at today's event, announcing the private sector-led initiatives to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the ECOWAS Parliament. The present here today underscores the vital role the media plays in promoting transparency, public awareness, and democratic engagement across our region. As we mark 25 years of the ECOWAS Parliament's contribution, reflects a growing recognition that regional integration is not solely the responsibility of governments and its institutions. It requires the active participation of the private sector, organized civil society, and indeed the media of West Africa and beyond, working in concert to strengthen the vision of a prosperous and united West African region. ECOWAS Parliament, in conclusion, ECOWAS Parliament and its esteemed partners therefore count on your continued partnership to help tell our story, i.e. to inform the public about the significance of this anniversary and the opportunities it presents for citizens, especially young people, entrepreneurs, and innovators, to contribute meaningfully to the regional integration agenda. Once again, the leadership of ECOWAS Parliament with our partners, thank you sincerely for your presence here, for your questions, and for your continued support. In amplifying initiatives that advance the collective aspirations of our region, we wish you safe travels back to your various destinations and look forward to working closely with you in days, months, and throughout the year. Muito obrigado. Merci infiniment, and thank you very much.
Well, I thought after my colleague had spoken that I don't need to take the floor again, because she has said all that we need to say. But most important, thank you to the media for the support. Thus far, 5 years we'll be partnering with you. The little knowledge that people have about the ECOWAS Parliament was entirely because of your efforts. If you did not cover us, we wouldn't have been known. I know you can do more. And then one thing I want us to understand is that the best way for the parliament to be known by the people is we have direct elections. If we don't have direct elections, this is how we are going to continuously be battling with this publicity. But when you have direct elections, the politicians themselves that will send the parliament, so they have to go and campaign for votes. Having said that, I wish to, before taking my seat, thank most sincerely the donors. Some of them are present here, particularly from the banks I have told. Some of them flew in from Lagos and Port Harcourt. Thank you so much for agreeing to sponsor us, and thank you so much for your presence here and this very important announcement. On behalf of the Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament, Her Excellency Ajami Monati Ibrahima, I wish to thank you sincerely and to say that we'll report back to her that it has been a successful announcement. Thank you so much.
Current country manager and CEO for CMD Tourism and Trade Enterprises Limited. Permit me to read on her behalf. And yes, she's a French woman, but I'll be reading this in English. All right. distinguished guests, representatives of ECOWAS Parliament, members of the media, the private sector, and partners present here today. Thank you for being part of this important moment. As we celebrate 25 years of the ECOWAS Parliament, we are reminded of the power of regional cooperation in shaping the welfare culture of the region through economic growth and opportunity across West Africa. And that it also requires institutions, private sector actors, and development partners working together to build a truly connected West Africa, including the media. At CMD Tourism and Trade Enterprises Limited, our work is built on that same philosophy, fostering a borderless Africa through trade, market access, and general economic collaboration. Platforms like this remind us that the future of the region lies in stronger partnerships, increased mobility, and expanded opportunities for businesses, women, and young entrepreneurs across our borders. We commend the ECOWAS Parliament and all partners involved in this year-long commemorative program, and we look forward to supporting inclusive initiatives that deepen trade cooperation and regional prosperity. Thank you once again for your presence, and we look forward to continued collaboration. Have a safe return to your bees. Thank you.
So we have the 15 names here. I'm just going to call them out, so we won't come out to collect it now. We will just wait till being corrected. Okay, so we have Favor Ulebo Emmanuel. Ah, yes. A round of applause for her. The first person, actually. So you just pick your choice. We have Mr. Badejo Ademuyiwa, my senior MC. We have John Tien, if I'm saying it right. We have John Jean or John Tien. Sorry for the pronunciation. We have Shukudin Esther Ifeoma Ronje. Please forgive my pronunciation. Just come out if you're the person, but forgive my pronunciation. Okay. We have Pauline Okwegale. Sorry. I need to go and take extra lessons after this. We have Jane Andy Onu. We have Shina Oladele. We have Yusuf Kashim. We have myself, but I'll pass. So, are we saying that the MC is not supposed to take something? Okay, that's fine. Okay, we have Fatima Zara. We have Olufunke Olubode. Sorry, please don't be offended if I'm butchering the names. We have Nwafo Adaobi. We have Ugochukwu Agalania. Three names I butchered. So, John, okay, do we have a John here? Is anybody's name John? Okay, then I think it's you. What's the other name? John, just speak, please. Okay, Bushuku, I called Bushuku. He's not here. Okay, arise, right? Okay. Somebody can. I will keep it for. You beat me to it. Okay, so the gifts are done. I think mine is separate outside. Moving on. Moving on, we're going to have the official photographs, group photograph, and we're going to have afterwards the media interview and networking. So I'm going to please kindly ask the last 4 rows to please allow us move the chairs outside so we can have more space to set up for the individual interviews and also for the group. So please bear with me.
So thank you all once again. Sorry, one house.
Sorry.
So I do want to say that if you'd like to still be a part of this program, of course it's a regional program, so we need all the partnership we can get. You're free to talk to myself or Duchess. We need and CMD as well, please pardon me. We need all the technical support and of course this is me lobbying for it.
Okay. A round of applause for her, for Dr. Oluri, once again. So, I've just been told that agencies and financial institutions, the media, would also want to have a word with you about what you hope to contribute and, to feedback from you about this program and what you would possibly be pushing for as part of the program development. So, I think we already have the official closing remarks. However, let's have please, we can all rise for the ECOWAS anthem. Please, after the anthem, don't be in a haste to go. We want to have everyone's photograph. So to actually remember this day, it's a huge milestone for us. Okay, so for the photographs, we would I would please ask everyone to please just remain settled. Please remain settled.